Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to English Podcast. I'm Jane, your host, and I'm so happy you're here with me today. Whether you're listening at home, on your commute, or maybe during a walk in the park, thank you for choosing to spend your time with me. Speaking of time, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Our topic is don't waste your time. Now, I know you've probably heard this phrase a million times before. Don't waste your time. But have you ever stopped to really think about what it means? Have you ever asked yourself, am I making the most of my time? Or am I letting it slip away on things that don't really matter? Time is one of those things we all have in common. Whether you're rich or poor, young or old, we all get the same 24 hours in a day. But how we choose to use those hours can make all the difference in the world. Today, we're going to dive deep into why we waste time, how we can stop, and how we can make every moment count. So, grab a cup of tea, sit back, and let's get started. Alright, let's start with this question. Why do we waste time? I think one big reason is that we don't always realize how precious time is until it's gone. Have you ever looked back at a week, or even a year, and thought, wow, where did all that time go? I know I have. Sometimes, it feels like time just slips through our fingers. We spend hours scrolling on our phones, watching random videos, or overthinking things we can't control. It's easy to get caught up in distractions, especially in today's world where everything is designed to grab our attention. But here's the thing. Wasting time isn't just about doing nothing. It's also about spending your time on the wrong things. For example, maybe you're saying yes to too many things that don't actually matter to you, or maybe you're stuck in a routine that feels unfulfilling. One of the most common ways we waste time is by procrastinating. We put things off because they feel too hard, or we're afraid of failing, or we tell ourselves, we'll do it tomorrow. But then, tomorrow turns into next week, and next week turns into next month. Sound familiar? Now, let's flip the question. What does it mean to use your time wisely? Using your time wisely doesn't mean you have to be busy every second of the day. It's not about working nonstop or never taking a break. In fact, rest and relaxation are essential. But it's about being intentional with your time. It's about making choices that align with your values and your goals. For example, instead of spending an hour scrolling through social media, you could spend that hour learning something new, connecting with a loved one, or simply enjoying a moment of peace. Let me share a quote with you. It's from the famous author Carl Sandburg. He said, "Time is the coin of your life. It is the only coin you have, and only you can determine how it will be spent. Be careful lest you let other people spend it for you." Isn't that powerful? It's a reminder that your time is your own, and you get to choose how to use it. So, how can we stop wasting time and start using it more wisely? Let me share some practical tips with you. 1. Identify your time wasters. The first step is to figure out where your time is going. Maybe it's endless scrolling, binge-watching shows, or saying yes to things you don't really want to do. Once you know your time wasters, you can start to cut back. 2. Set clear priorities. What's truly important to you? Is it spending time with family? Building your career? Taking care of your health? When you're clear on your priorities, it's easier to focus on what matters and let go of the rest. 3. Plan your day. Start each day with a plan. Write down the top 3 things you want to accomplish. Keep it simple and realistic. And don't forget to include time for rest and fun. 4. Limit distractions. We live in a world full of distractions. Social media, emails, notifications, they're always pulling us away from what we're doing. Try setting boundaries, like turning off notifications or setting specific times to check your phone. 5. Learn to say no. One of the hardest but most powerful things you can do is say no. Your time is precious, and you don't have to spend it on things that don't align with your goals or values. 6. Reflect and adjust. At the end of each day or week, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, did I spend my time on what matters most to me? If not, think about what you can change moving forward. Now, let's talk about something a bit more personal. I want you to think about a time in your life when you felt like you were truly making the most of your time. Maybe it was when you were working on a project you were passionate about, or spending quality time with someone you love. What made that time feel so meaningful? Chances are, it wasn't about how much you were doing, but about the purpose behind it. When we align our time with our values, it doesn't just feel productive, it feels fulfilling. On the other hand, think about a time when you felt like you were wasting time. How did that feel? Maybe it left you feeling frustrated, bored, or even a little guilty. But here's the good news, you have the power to change that. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought: every single day is a fresh start. You don't have to wait for a new year or a special occasion to make changes. You can start right now, today, by making one small choice to use your time wisely. So, here's my challenge for you. Take 5 minutes today to reflect on how you're spending your time. Write down one thing you want to stop wasting time on and one thing you want to start doing instead. Remember, time is a gift. Don't waste it. Now, let's take a moment to explore some key vocabulary that will help deepen your understanding of today's topic. These words are not only relevant to our conversation, but will also enrich your English skills. So, let's dive into the new vocabulary. Procrastinate. Procrastinate. Meaning, to keep delaying something that must be done, often because it is unpleasant or boring. Distraction. Distraction. Meaning, something that prevents someone from giving their attention to something else. Fulfillment. Fulfillment. Meaning, a feeling of happiness, because you are doing what you intended to do in life. Reflection. Reflection. Meaning, serious thought or consideration. Coincidence. Coincidence. Meaning, a situation in which two or more things happen at the same time in a way that is not planned or expected. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of English Podcast. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any tips or thoughts about today's topic, I'd love to hear from you. Let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, take care, and make the most of every moment. You've got this.